Now's the time where we move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is going to give us a speech from speech number 5, Your Body Speaks, entitled Fun and Games, Ping Pong. He's requested 5 to 7 minutes. Everyone, please welcome Dave.
You fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. How many of you here play ping pong? About everybody. Yeah, I kind of figured it is. It's a pretty universal sort of game. I have to tell you, I thought I knew all the rules to ping pong until I was getting ready to write this speech. And I looked and I thought, wait a minute, they changed the rules. They changed the equipment. They changed what you can do. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to try to give you some information. Everyone should have a picture of a ping pong table that I passed down here. It's kind of nice because it does show the size of the ping pong table and how you set it up. When I was in high school, I used to play like at church or other places, some ping pong just with people, and I was not that good. I usually used my own version of what's called this style of ping pong play. I'm sorry, my mind just went blank on the term. But the point was, typically you're supposed to do it like with these 2 fingers and the other fingers in back of it, and you keep it all in one side of the paddle. Doing it the way I did it, with some fingers on the front and this on the back, you could get a regular slam this way and you could get a slam this way using different sides of the ping pong paddle. So I kind of got myself kind of a reputation, and I'm left-handed, so that would throw some people off who weren't used to having somebody slam from the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. So I did pretty well in ping pong, and when I went off to college, I started playing ping pong at the recreation center and got to be pretty good at it. Now, as expected, almost all of the good ping pong players at West Virginia Wesleyan College where I went to school were Chinese, Japanese, Korean, whatever. The only player that was also Caucasian like me was a fellow who grew up in India, and they play a lot of ping pong in India. So as I played a lot of it still with this pen holder grip, that's what it is. Pen holder grip, then I didn't worry too much about it, but eventually I decided that I would have been better off to just go with the standard handshake grip. And so that's what I did afterwards. I got pretty good that way too. Now, how many people think they know all the rules of ping pong? Do you know where the serve has to be? Let's pretend that this is one side of the ping pong table here. When you're going to serve, you must hit the ball in back of the end of the table and inside the lines. Not too much stress, but that's what you do. I always thought that when you hit to the other side, you have to hit once on your side, and I thought you could only hit once on the opponent's side. But I was looking at the rules today, and they say no, it's just at least once on the opponent's side. No, I guess they changed the rules. They've also got a larger ping pong ball that they use now than when I was small. It's just in the last few years that they've done it for tournaments because things were getting too fast and the television cameras couldn't keep up with it, so they had to find a way to slow it down. And so that was something that they've changed. Another thing that they've changed is, well, they're changing the composition of the ping pong balls a little bit. Now, they're made of still a sort of a same material, but it's a different formulation. So that's been changed. I also understand, now, I have never watched too much of ping pong on television, like for the Olympics and stuff, but they have changed the rules slightly. In the past, they always had men and women's singles and pairs, and now at least they have an overall competition for the best team. which of course means the Chinese are certainly doing that forever since they're. The interesting thing that I did find when I was reading the history about ping pong was why the Chinese are so interested in ping pong. It turns out it was back in the 30s when the Red Chinese first started to develop that they wanted to do something to show that they were civilized, sort of like the Western civilization. So the thing they took up was this British game, ping pong. Well, actually, it's usually called table tennis, because there was a company that took, even though it had been well in long use as ping pong, this other company took a copyright on the, or trademark on the name, and they prevailed in court, and so from then on, only people who used certain stuff could call it ping pong material. So I don't think it really makes much difference. Let's see what else I have to say. Well, as I said, most of the players when I went to college were the people from the West weren't very good at it. Only the Chinese, Japanese, and so forth were good at it, except for this one guy. But I did actually, in one of the tournaments that we had, I think it was in my junior year, got in second place. I'm thinking it's the guy from India that beat me in the finals too. And actually, they'd gotten good enough that I could, return the slams from the Chinese players. So I still like to play ping pong, but I don't get to do it very often. My wife likes ping pong too, although she's not that much competition, but sometimes we have gone to the Pile Center and played a little bit just for fun. And I'd sort of like to find some good ping pong players that think they can beat a 70-year-old. I will be a 70-year-old in a couple of months. This is a challenge. Anybody here wants to play me in ping pong, let me know. Maybe not Chris, I'm not sure.
How about beer pong?
Huh?
How about beer pong?
I don't drink beer. Root beer might be different.
That'll work.
Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll turn things back over to Chris.
We have 1 minute for evaluation.